Frostmourne hungers. Your pain shall be legendary. Glory to the Scourge!
Hey guys, this is Fuller and welcome to another new Hearthstone Heroes. This one's a bit special as we're going back to the very first one I made, the Death Knight, retweaking and remastering it. This will definitely be one of the first playable heroes in the Hearthstone mod, and I think my favourite. Let's go straight to it. For theme, we just recently did a Lich hero who's fairly similar. Death Knights are much more the frontline generals of the Scourge and fearsome warriors you really don't want to mess with. So firstly, they're all about raising legions of undead to overwhelm armies and cities. The more they kill, the bigger their legion becomes. And apart from just your usual undead, there's quite a lot of variants of minions they use, from crit fiends to banshees, abominations, frostworms, etc, etc. I tried to make sure I included a bit of everything. Death Knights themselves wield powerful rune blades, so naturally this hero should have quite a few weapons. I increased the amount from the last video. Now in WoW the hero had quite a few silence and anti-magic abilities. Since we've already got the Demon Hunter with a lot of spellproof cards and mana burn, given the DK, quite a few silence cards like Hearthstone's Priest seem to fit very well. For the actual deck building type theme, it felt natural to lean towards the Druid and Shaman's Savage Roar Bloodlust type effects, to combo it with the large pool of weak undead minions you've got as a very good finisher. Also, as you've probably guessed, like Hunter and their beast, Death Knights have a lot of minions who are undead, so there's some interaction with that race. Lastly, there's a few cards that benefit from sacrificing weak throwaway undead tokens for natural synergy. Here's the hero himself, Arthas Menethil. I really like the art here, so I kept it the same. You can compare him to other heroes like Mage and Priest. On to the hero power. In the old Death Knight video, I had a pretty complex rune type one. There you would randomly give a minion +1 attack, +1 health, or death rattle summon a ghoul. This time I went with a much more reliable and useful one. It is Raise Dead. For 2 mana, summon a 0/1 ghoul. If a friendly minion died this turn, then summon a 1/2 ghoul instead. So comparable to the Paladin's hero power and even the Shaman's. If you trade or suicide any minions on your turn, you can immediately get a 1/2 out, which is of course resilient to a lot of enemy hero powers. The 0/1 is still useful, as you'll see there's a lot with a lot of the cards coming out. On to the minions, and this time I'm going to combine it with weapons. The first one is Crypt Fiend. This one is largely the same as it was before. For 2 mana it's 2/2 with give a friendly minion death rattle, summon a 2/2 insectoid. So you get 4/4 stats for just 2 mana, which is good, but you need a minion out, and it needs to die to get the value. Very similar to Argent Protector and Cruel Taskmaster, same stats with a potentially useful effect. This one's changed a lot. It is Howling Banshee. Before she gave a minion spellproof, now for 3 mana she's 1/3 with Battlecry, silence all enemy minions. May remind you of the other Banshee in Hearthstone, Wailing Soul, that silences your own minions. She's very situational, but definitely worth having one in the deck as a surprise silence to neutralize powerful effects, or just remove taunts. On to the first weapon, it's Shadowmourne. For 3 mana it's 2/2 with Battlecry and Death Rattle. Give your minions +1 attack this turn. So like a mini Savage Roar built into an unholy weapon. Goes very well if you're building an undead swarm type of deck. You can use it to clear weak minions as well. You just need to time the death rattle for maximum effect. Next we have Vile Necromancer. I changed this one a little bit. For 3 mana he's 2/4 with whenever a friendly minion dies, summon a 1/1 ghoul. Previously it triggered on enemy minions. I reserved that much more for the Lich hero. With this, minions you summon can continuously be recycled. Use them to suicide into enemy minions, getting back a 1/1 ghoul. Like a Cult Master, you need to protect this guy to get the constant value from him. This minion isn't actually undead, at least not at first. It is Damned Acolyte. For 1 mana she's 1/1 with Death Rattle, summon a 0/1 shade with stealth, and your other undead have +1 attack. So she becomes a weaker stealth Timberwolf. which makes your hero power very frightening. It takes a turn to get the effect, and your opponent has the chance to do something about it, or play around it. On to another weapon, it is Unholy Runeblade. For 4 mana, it's 4/2 with, whenever your hero attacks a minion, deal 1 damage to adjacent minions. A cleave ability basically. You can compare this to other 4 mana weapons like True Silver and Deathbite. It's also slightly similar to Swipe in a way. With this you get 2 swings, so a lot of potential value. Now we're getting on to the bigger, more expensive stuff. Firstly, it's Flesh Golem. For 6 mana he's 4/5 with, Death Rattle, add 2 random undead cards to your hand. If your undead swarm's running a bit low on meat, this can replenish the stock. So no, I do intend to add quite a few more neutral undead cards. I mean, in Hearthstone there's currently Flesh Eating Ghoul, Unstable Ghoul, Sylvanas, etc. I'll be adding a few as well. So he's like a web spinner and a Savannah High main. A 6-drop you don't mind if he dies, and a good body to drop down. Now we're on to the last weapon. It's none other than Frostmourne. This one I kept largely the same. For 7 mana it's 5/2 with, whenever this kills a minion, summon a 2/2 zombie warrior. Not only can you clear enemy minions with this, but you can also increase the size of your undead legion at the same time. It's pretty expensive, so it fits in the category with Gorehowl and Gladiator's Longbow. This one's been changed, it's Frostworm. For 7 mana he's 5/6 with Battlecry, freeze all enemy minions. Before I had it as a death rattle, now he gives some instant board presence and an effect. If you're going for the finishing blow next turn, or you just want to stall your opponent, this guy is a huge benefit. Alright, we're finally onto the legendary. I made 2, so you can pick which one. The first one is my favourite, and would have my vote. It is Terran Gorefiend. For 6 mana he's 4/4 with, Battlecry and Death Rattle, summon 3 1/1 ghouls with charge. He's pretty weak himself, just being 4 stats, but having 3 ghouls to instantly charge comes in handy, and when he dies you get even more. More power to the Scourge. Once you see the spells and area buffs, you'll see the potential with all these ghouls. The alternative legendary is Darian Morgraine. For 7 mana he's 7/5 with, Death Rattle, destroy a random friendly minion, then summon a copy of this minion. So he's basically immortal, so long as you can keep sacrificing a friendly minion. Of course the Hex, Polymorph etc. can take care of him. This synergizes really well with the hero power. A 0/1 goal to sacrifice to keep this guy alive is amazing value. Let's go on to the spells, starting with Corpse Explosion. This one I changed a lot. For 2 mana, give a minion Death Rattle, deal 2 damage to all enemies. You can drop it on a minion and attack instantly, exploding for a big board clear, or you can even just summon a token and prepare a bomb for future turns. Next we have Death Coil. This one's the same. For 1 mana, deal 2 damage to a minion. If it's a friendly minion, restore 2 health instead. So an arcane shot that can't target enemy heroes, but you have the option of healing a friendly minion instead. It could be made to only target undead if we really want to be truer to the lore. In that case I'd make it heal even more. Now for some finisher cards. Firstly, we have Unholy Might. For 4 mana, set your minion's attack to 4 this turn. So very similar to Savage Roar and Bloodlust. Doesn't go well with strong minions, but if you have a lot of mindless weak token minions, then you can crush your opponent in 1 turn. If he lets you build up the board, that is. But we at least have a lot of ways to swarm him, as you'll see in the next cards. On to Bloodstrike. It's similar but a bit different. For 2 mana, for each friendly minion, give your hero +2 attack this turn. You can use it as a finisher, just like the previous card, to do a lot of damage in 1 turn to the enemy hero, or simply a way to clear a big minion out, like a taunt that's in the way. On to a nifty damage spell, it is Soul Harvest. This one's changed a lot. For 4 mana, deal 3 damage to a minion. If it dies, summon 3 1/1 ghouls, like a bigger Mortal Coil to help build up the Scourge Legion. A pretty big swing, killing a minion and summoning a few yourself. It's like Hammer of Wrath, you forsake the card draw for some board presence. Speaking of board presence, here's one, Army of the Undead. For 7 mana, summon 3 3/3 zombies. so you get 9 stats for 7 mana, which is brilliant, but all spread in little minions. It won't be hard for them to be cleared by your opponent. Next we have Vampiric Embrace. For 1 mana, choose a minion. Whenever it deals damage, restore that much health to your hero. What's interesting is if you play it on enemy minions as well, you can cancel out their damage, very much like Paladin's Blessing of Wisdom. Onto a straight up minion removal, it is Death Grip. For 4 mana, silence a random enemy minion and then destroy it. So very much like Deadly Shot, you pay the extra mana for the silence. If your opponent only has 1 minion down, then you always hit the right target. If not, you're taking a bit of a gamble, but it completely owns Tyrion, Sylvanas, and any minions with a powerful death rattle. Onto a more conditional one is Dark Command. For 3 mana, give a minion +2 attack, then force a random minion to attack it. So kinda like a blend of Betrayal and Shadow Madness. You can do some interesting things, like force an enemy minion to kill and suicide into another enemy minion, or buff up your minion, make it kill an enemy minion, and then attack again, killing another. This one I really like, it's Death Wave. For 6 mana, deal 2 damage to all enemy minions. For each minion killed, draw a card. A bigger, more expensive Consecrate, but you can draw a lot of cards from this. It only does 2 damage though, so you probably need to soften up the enemy minions before playing this. Onto my favourite spell, it is Raise Champion. For 4 mana, summon a Scourge Champion with attack and health equal to target minion. You don't gain any abilities, so it's like a cheaper faceless manipulator. Brilliant for copying giants and other big minions, while simultaneously you can play cards along it to destroy theirs. Next we have Death Pact. For 0 mana, destroy a friendly minion. Until end of turn, give your hero +4 attack and become immune. So this goes very well together with weapons, where you can smash a big minion down like an Ironbark Protector or a Ragnaros and take no damage. Again, you can use your hero power to sacrifice something if you haven't got anything, and it can also be used as a finisher card to add on a bit of damage with, say, a Blood Strike for a 1-turn wombo combo. That's it for the Death Knight, guys, but wait, what about the Lich King, or becoming the Lich King? Well, I'm going to throw together a set of legendary spells for every hero I've made. So Pirate Legendary, Dragon Knight Legendary, Lich, Blood Mage, everything. Send me your ideas if you have any. They have to be super awesome spells though. Think of epic events that happened within the lore of the WoW universe and how they could be legendary spells. Please subscribe to my channel, guys, or else the Angry Chicken Hero is coming up next. On that note, what hero do you want next? What gaps in heroes is left for the mod? What do they need? I'm thinking a shaman type of hero in the form of a witch doctor. Got any ideas for that one? We'll have to have a lot of hexes, curses, voodoo magic, trolls of course, heals, wolves, big bad spirits, and who knows what else. Thanks for watching, guys, and if you've watched all the hero videos so far, thanks even more. Please leave a like, and I'd love to hear your comments on this one. I think it's a big improvement on the old Death Knight, a lot more balanced, and I can really picture some fun decks I like to try out and own you all with. Until next time, thanks guys, see you soon.